how analog versus IP camera system work, then which one would you prefer to buy? So in today's video, I'm going to show us five major things about difference between analog system and IP camera system. Once again, you're welcome back to this video, and my name remains Engineer Isaiah Moipo, the CEO of Motel Global Engineering Services, where you will come and learn how to install solar system. We teach on CCTV camera system and also electrical wiring system. And today we are going to teach about CCTV camera system. And remember, the IP system I'm talking about is the IP bulb camera system and the solar camera system, solar PCZ camera system, the one that have a solar panel along together with it. You can see it on the screen. You can see it on the screen. This is the system I'm talking about. So now we are going to talk about five major things that differentiate between the analog system and also the IP system. When I say analog system, in this system, you have to understand when I talk about analog camera system are wired analog camera system. They are cameras that have wires, and you will need extra component or devices. Like take for example, if you want to install analog system, you know that you get a camera that have these cables. These are analog cameras. Then you have a power supply bus, you have a DVR, you will also have a television or a monitor, anyone you want to use as your view, as your screen, to see what the camera is displaying outside or anywhere they are. So these are what analog systems. They are classified as a wired system. Then we'll talk about IP camera, because I want to explain the two types of camera system before we now talk about the major difference between the two. So that if you are considering to buy a camera system in your business place, in your office, be it in the hotel, in the restaurant, in the school, or even in your home, you want to monitor what is happening in your surroundings, even inside your house and your surroundings and environment. You should know the type of camera you want to buy and why you are buying that camera to serve that particular purpose. So this camera you are seeing is a wireless IP camera. It only needs to be connected to a lap holder, then run a power supply to it. You need power supply, AC power supply, then a router, and just your phone. Then the camera can start working. This camera needs what? It needs just, you need this camera, you need the router, you need just your phone to be able to see this camera. So now let's come to this system. So analog versus IP camera, which one would you buy? Which one would you buy? Which one would you prefer to use? Then we have their major differences. Now I'm going to talk about five major differences among other differences comparing analog system and IP system. So number one, we have to consider. Then I will advise you to watch this video to the end when I will talk about the number five major differences between the two systems. Because after watching this video, you'll be able to make a clear decision for yourself and the type of camera you will choose to buy, either for your home or business or anywhere you deem fit to install the camera. So number one reason is the connection method. In analog system, we make use of what? We make use of coaxial cable from each camera down to DVR. So I've also had other videos that talk about installing the camera from one point to the other. In analog system, we use wired. We run wired to each point of the camera. In any camera that you install in analog system, like this kind of camera, wherever you install it, you should run a wire to that place and connect it. Install this camera there. And this camera does not rotate. It's a stationary camera. It's stationed one place and doesn't rotate. So as a matter of fact, this system, you will need cables. Then connect them from different points to what? Your DVR. Then from your DVR, you will send it to your monitor or your television or whatever thing you use as your screen, showing what the camera is capturing. Then another thing, when we look at the IP system, which is this kind of bulb camera or PTZ solar camera, you connect directly to Wi-Fi or a router with just your smartphone. Some of the PTZ solar cameras, they have SIM card, which means when you get the camera, you buy a SIM card for it, register it, and also subscribe it. There should be a data for that SIM card inside the camera for it to work. Then you can use different apps. We have apps like the IC Cloud, U-Bus app, we have V380 Pro app to connect the solar camera. So that is one of the major differences in this place between the analog system and IP camera system. Number two system, we have the power source. Remember, in this camera system, in analog system, this is what your power cord. This is your power cord. This is your data cord. So this camera needs power supply before it will come up. So in this system, in the power source between comparing the two, we run power supply using cables to each camera, each point, each place we install camera. We must run a cable to that place to give the camera power supply. Then, in the case of the IP system, if you are installing this camera, you need to connect this camera to a lapoda, and you all know that a lapoda have the 2 points of connection that you will connect it to is AC driven, AC power source. You connect it to a lapoda, then you power it with your AC and you screw it in and the camera starts working. But for the solar PTZ camera, most of them you don't need cameras, you don't need power supply at all. There is a panel provided for it, and there is an inbuilt battery for that system. That even as the panel charges the battery in the daytime, it is being designed or produced in such a way that the battery can able to carry the camera all through the night the following day. And the way they design it is that the following day, the panel starts charging the battery back to give the camera power supply 24/7, 24 hours working. So in IP system on the power source, bulb camera use lap holders. For this system, they use lap holder. If you are installing this exact bulb camera, you need what? A lap holder. Then, and no NEPA needed for PTZ solar camera. There's a panel to it already. Then you don't need NEPA on that system before the camera starts to work. Then, another thing we have to consider, number 3 point, is the installation requirement. Remember, in analog system, it will require heavy wiring, cables, connectors, trunking, drilling, etc. So in this system, in this analog system, we'll need to connect or run our cable first. So you have to watch my video on when I talk about designing your system. Then we run our cable. That is why I said it's a wire heavy wiring. If it is a building that is already existing, you point out the location the camera will be. You trunk it down. You run the line there. Then you run your cables. You run your wires. Then you drill the hole, because wherever the camera will be at this position. Therefore, you need what? You need to open the wall and put your fisher and drill the wall and install the camera in that place so that the camera can start firmly and very strong. So another thing that you consider is that wherever the system will be, the gadget, your DVR, your power supply box, and your television will be, you have to position them in a place that nobody will have access to unless the person that owns the system. So let's go to number 4. We have what? Then, okay, when we talk about IP system, the opposite, the difference between the number 4, the number 3 installation requirement, we talk about their IP system cameras. Zero or minimal wiring. Solar PTZ mount outside without cables. In this camera, you only need to connect it to what? Your lap holder. So you don't need much wiring. Unlike the analog system that you run wire to each camera, to each point. But this one, once you connect your lap holder to power supply, you are good to go. But in solar PTZ camera, you don't need to run any wire. That system is purely independent. It's not depending on any external power source to work. There's a panel provided for it. You can see it on the screen. You can see a panel and the camera together as a one unit. So when the panel is there, you don't need any extra wire on it. If you want to separate the panel from the camera, you can place the panel on the roof or somewhere close by where the camera can receive a good amount of sun to charge the battery very well. So that is for PTZ solar camera. Then another point we will look at is what number 4, the features and functionality. Then over here we can see that most fixed cameras are limited. Zoom are limited. To zoom the camera is also limited in analog system. Then zoomed, then no AI. Then audio sometimes is weak. Sometimes their audio are weak when it comes to analog system. Then their zoom, they are limited in zooming. If you want to zoom that camera, see what is happening, or see the people that are there clearly, the zoom is limited. Another thing is that for the cameras, they are limited. Then what? Their audio. You know, this system we have one-way audio, two-way audio, both in analog and both in IP. But for the analog system is limited. Then then for IP system, full smart fixtures, they are flexible to work with. The PTZ rotation, AI detection. This system have AI detection. They have motion detection. If somebody pass the place, it can easily detect the place and set signal. Depends on how you configure your camera. Then two-way audio. So this camera is one-way audio. That means I can use my phone. I can speak with my phone and you will hear it from this speaker. Right? This is a speaker of the camera. If I speak with my phone, if I connect this camera and I configure it with my phone, I will speak through my phone, and the person that is there with the camera, it might be outside the country, it might be outside the state, the person will hear me clearly. There are some other cameras that are two-way audio, which means as I speak to the person through my phone to the camera, the person can really talk back or speak back. Then I will hear the person with my phone through the camera. So that is what we mean as two-way audio. Then the last but not the least I'm going to look into in this place is what? The internet remote viewing. The internet and remote viewing. Then under analog system, we see that remote viewing depends on the DVR connection to router. If there is issue, then it shows offline. So as you can see, you see that we have a router here. If we want to see what this camera in this analog system is showing, we have to connect our router to our phone, have to connect our router to our DVR. Then we connect it to what? Our phone. We now begin to see it. But if anything should happen to this DVR, then we have to know that we have issues. It should begin to show us offline. Maybe the router is off, or maybe the DVR have issues. So these are some of the issues that we face in this kind of system. Then another thing is in IP system, you see each camera connects individually to Wi-Fi. Even if one goes off, others can work. So example, if we have this camera, we saw the camera like 5 pieces in different places, connected to just one phone using one app. So if one of the camera have issues, the other 4 cameras will still be working. So these are some of the differences about the two systems. So having known all this, you have to now think about the system you want to use. Which purpose will the system serve for you, and how flexible it is with your operation. Consider network in your place. Is network there good? Because one of the major advantage of analog system over IP system is that when you are not there and the system will still be recording, especially when you have network issues. The system will still be recording inside the hard disk in the analog system using the DVR. But if there is network issues and you want to see what is happening at that particular time, you cannot access it because either the signal is weak, the network signal is weak, or there is no network at all. The camera will still be working and be recording on the memory card there, but you cannot witness the scene. You cannot witness the happenings in that environment at that particular instant. So network issues are one of the things that affect IP camera system. Why this analog system, they will be there doing their work all the time, so that when you come, you can actually see what happened and do your playback and all of that. So another thing you should consider is that the cost. The cost of this installation is cheaper if you are considering 1 or 2. Is cheaper than the cost of installing a full unit of analog system. So after going through all these major reasons, now you cannot think about the type of camera you want to get when you want to install camera in your home. So, but in case you are still confused on the type of camera you want to get, you can quickly reach out to us at Morutech Global Engineering Services. We'll help you to see to it. Then you will give you a design and tell you the kind of camera that is best for that your business or office or organization. So you can do well to reach out to us, and we will give you a good design of CCTV camera system that will help you to track and monitor and secure your environment peacefully, and you will be keeping your daily record day by day using the camera system. So thank you for watching to this very end. Thank you for watching this video to this very time. I will see you in the next video, and God bless you.